Welcome to another Motortown video. Today I'm here to give you guys the post-race commentary on the big blog RallyCross event. So that's the one that I was planning for quite a while, the one that I set my vehicle up for, and it's finally happened. So today I'm gonna talk to you guys about how it all went, and we are going to watch the races most likely in full, or at least some of them. And yeah, what else can I say? I decided against doing this while I was racing. After all, the cars are quite a handful, with them having almost 400 horsepower rear-wheel drive on dirt roads for at least part of the race. So yeah, I would rather do this in post and then talk about it in a bit more of a relaxed way. So let's get going. You will notice that a lot of these opponent vehicles are the old BMW types, so that's the Zyno in-game. There's another person up in front driving the same vehicle as I am, that's Domo in the Vista. Another one driving the modern BMW styled vehicle, that's the Cora. And even one mad lad in the SM, which I tried out before this event and I just thought it was completely uncontrollable. And yeah, we are about to get going. And I would like to point out a few things here, so I'm gonna quickly stop the video again. First up, I'm not even having my engine on right now. These vehicles are gas guzzlers, and I think that for most of these races the cars couldn't have done another lap without refueling. So I'm trying to be very conservative about that and only start the engine, start burning fuel when I really need to. Secondly, the start is going to be happening by Chess over here, who is gracefully hosting the events, doing a free honk starting setup. So honk 1, honk 2, honk 3, and that's when we can get going. Just wanted to point that out because you should keep attention to that, because some people in the race sadly didn't. So wake up, countdown soon. And that's the honk. First one, second one, third one. So I didn't really go for a jump start. I think I could have maybe went when the third honk was starting, but the people in front of me didn't, so I had to stop again. And yeah, it kind of gets worse from here. I don't know what that guy's mission was or how it looked on their screen, but for me that was yeah, quite harsh. So I'm now pretty far behind. I think there might be one or two other people behind me still, but we are about to get on the dirt road, and this is where the entire event is gonna change significantly. Not only because I missed the braking point, but so did so many other people. Also Leighton over there just flipping out or something. No, the thing that I noticed here pretty quickly is just how much the other vehicles are struggling on the road here. Just really not doing well with the bumps and everything, and I'm just overtaking them like nothing. I spent some time on this setup. I'm pretty happy with where it is, and apparently it is likely one of the better ones in the entire race. So this is gonna be a recurring theme, including me also just spinning out anyways, because, well, the cars are kinda hard to handle, even if they are well set up. And yeah, I tried to avoid Leighton running into me, so I decided to just back out a little bit. Sadly, they didn't have that luck with guy up front in the modern BMW style vehicle. So yeah, I hope they would get past that, and then I could get past that vehicle as well, but sadly, nope. Still, I know now that I'm gonna do well over here. And just seeing how much I can pull up to other people and just pass them like nothing, it's cool. It really helps out quite a bit with all of the issues that I tend to run into. But yeah, I'm still gonna err on the side of caution. Just not gonna push it too much. And keep in mind, these vehicles, they don't drive like in Gran Turismo, Forza, or even something like GTA, where the handling is laughably easy and everything can take corners like an LMP1 or something. These ones are hard to handle, hard to control, and therefore they need a lot more space. They are going slower than you maybe would be thinking, but in the end it's also very interesting. But this also means that there is a generally lower level of control, and therefore with a lot of things you just have to be more lenient about it. It's not that somebody really tried to hit into you, it's just that it was unavoidable for them, possibly. And it's also very hard to take a good turn through some of these corners. Just taking a good line is really difficult, and I think my off-road setup doesn't really help here. So I think there might be a good chance that there is a better compromise out there, but I'm right now really excelling at the off-road parts of the tracks, but not that much on the off-road areas. So I'm falling behind here, partially down to bad performance on my part as well, but I know that once the off-road part comes, we're gonna see the guy in front again. And yeah, 3 laps over here on this track. All the races should be around 10 minutes long. And even if I'm getting overtaken here, my revenge is coming. And so is apparently the revenge of the police cars. Guy up front. Yeah, police in these events is not always fun, and I'm gonna have a lot more to say about that in the 3rd race. Just wait for that. But hey, at least I'm making positions again. Also, one thing to point out here when it comes to the setups and even the car that you choose in a multi-vehicle event. Sometimes it's really hard to figure out if you got to the best point that you can possibly be at, or if your vehicle or setup just leaves a few things to be desired. If you're only testing against yourself, then you can tell if something got better, if something got worse, but maybe it just could have still been better with a completely different setup. And only once you go into a race like this and have somebody else to compare yourself to, you may notice that some things might not be working out too well. So I think that's possibly what we can say about those other cars that are really struggling off-road. The drivers may have just thought that everybody would be having the same problem. And I mean, as far as it comes to the Zynos, that seems to be the case. So that might just be a problem with that vehicle itself. I think I've seen some other stuff with lightweight vehicles in particular. They get weirdly bouncy, and as soon as they start bouncing, they only get worse, even if you have hard dampers and all of that. It just seems to resonate and only get worse from there. And yeah, that was quite the crash up ahead. So that truck came in out of nowhere for the guys in front of me. They tried rejoining the track, and usually, I mean, we are not really driving with much of a rulebook here, but usually if we were driving with a rulebook, you should be just waiting for nearby vehicles to pass by and then make a safe re-entry. So while I may have slightly cut off that guy, if we were driving with more stringent rules, that would have been on their end with a mistake and all of that. But in the end, I don't think I cut them off too harshly. Also, once again, it's really hard to avoid these situations entirely. You are not braking down to 0 within a few meters here. Gotta be really preparing for that. And I was not prepared to see a crash like that happen. Anyways, last lap now, and I think I might be in 4th position with 5th right behind me. It seems like 5th didn't make the corner. I thankfully did. And we are also getting back to Leighton, and Yeah, I'm just assuming that that's how you are supposed to say that name, because I have no idea what to do with the X there. So yeah, at this point it's really just me waiting for an opening. I try to get past here, but well, if you don't have much control over your vehicle, you're gonna need more space than you would otherwise do, and I decide to stay cautious and just wait for my opening here. And that patience is definitely gonna be rewarded, which I'm quite thankful for. And just like this. Yeah, that's some of the weird bouncing that I talked about. And now I just kind of have to carry it home. I don't think I'll be catching up to Finny anytime soon. I mean, 300 meters is quite something. But yeah, this car right now, it's fun to drive. It can handle the bumps really well. It's decently speedy on regular roads, but yeah, not doing as well as some of the other vehicles. So I guess that could be balancing out. And it has a bit of a top speed deficit, but nothing really too troublesome. But for this race, it's a really good contender, and it's also gonna do well in the other ones. That's pretty much out of question after this performance. But yeah, the guy in front already having finished, and I just completely unexpectedly ran into a roadblock. Let's repeat that. We know what's coming, but really try to see when those vehicles are really coming into view, because I mean, I can see it now, but only now I can really shine a light on them. And the only thing that was left to me at this point was really just hitting the handbrake, turning in left, and hoping that I could at least hit that vehicle from the side. Because at that point I can at least keep going straight and just continue the race. Otherwise, besides possible engine damage and all of that, I would have needed to reverse out of that situation. So I think I've done the best I could have at that point. Although, honestly, I'm not gonna say the same for the upcoming corner, because this one, I steered in a bit too soon. I tried to counter steer and I ended up almost in the back of a transporter. Almost losing a position for that, which I guess is fine at that point, but I at least still managed to carry it over the finish line. So yeah, we managed to get third place, and it was quite a fun race. This was definitely the most technical track out of the three. The next one being the most top speed heavy, where you can really just hit the gas, give it the beans and all of that. And the third one being the one that I'm looking the most forward to, because that's kinda... it's a very good balance between the two, and also just a lot of fun in general. Anyways, we are at the starting line of the second track. I accidentally put it in comfort for a moment. And yeah, starting sequence is about to get going. And once again, I would like to point out that the host of these races usually doesn't participate in them, quite sadly. There's a lot of organization to be doing, making sure that people do the right amount of laps, that if you look at the map that they don't just do obvious cuts or something. And Chess is also adding a lot of commentary in the chat there. But yeah, second start at least goes a bit more smoothly. First turn is a different story. I don't even need to tell you why. It should be plain to see right now. But yeah. Sorry about that, I had to clear my throat. It just got clogged up all of a sudden, thanks to a fever. I almost managed to stay on the track. I almost managed to dodge that cone there. And in the end there's another harsh left-hand turn over here, going onto an even narrower road, before we finally get into my area of expertise, the dirt road. So at this point I'm just gonna try to not fall behind too much, but I think I'm in 5th place right now, so things are going well. And going onto the dirt road, we are immediately surprised by a vehicle on the inside. Always gotta be careful when it comes to traffic. And yeah, I also just overtook the SM, so not too much of a problem here. Another Lamborghini lookalike to the left, and we are immediately just catching up with everybody in front of us. Like, it's almost laughable if just how OP my vehicle is. I think part of it might be that I am using manual transmission in this game, and if you're using automatic, you are likely just gonna be over revving and having trouble shifting up, shifting down and all of that. I'm sometimes having trouble shifting down in the correct gear after hard braking and all of that. I would maybe need to take a bit more, or put a bit more attention onto that. But overall I think this is really helping out, and I just managed to overtake enough people to get into 2nd place. So Psychic Evil is up ahead. The people behind me are even further away than the guy is ahead of me, so let's get going, let's see how it works out. And yeah, sadly it doesn't start off too well with my chase into 1st place. That gap just closed down on me mercilessly. I was considering maybe trying to go to the left, but I thought at that point I would have likely hit the taxi head on, and that would have been much worse than what we had here. So yeah, I tried to maybe go for a gap in between the 2 vehicles, but that didn't work out, so slight bit of slowdown, but nothing too bad. Guy behind me also partially falling off the hairpin, it seems. Yeah, we are going. We are also seeing some people having some trouble with the sharp turns and all of the power of those engines. I mean, the cars have around 400 horsepower almost, with the turbocharger and everything. And yeah, a guy in front of me just apparently crashed into the transporter, or something happened. I don't know, but at least they are much slower now. It also started raining, which isn't gonna be too much in my favor either. But right now I'm in 1st place. I overtook them, but it's sadly not something that will last, because in this turn I just completely missed the apex and hit the tree to the side. I try to at least steer further to the right after that, so that I don't just rush back into the racing line and potentially crash that guy as well. But yeah, after that we of course immediately see the end of the rain again, so it really didn't do any of us a favor, but it was at least mercifully short. Coming back to the start finish, breaking another speed record. I was considering maybe going on the left, but who cares. Went on the right. And once again, 1st turn, and nobody's gonna get that corner anytime soon. I think maybe some people behind me did a better job here, because they are all of a sudden catching up quite a bit. And yeah, those player logos are definitely off-center, so that's why it's hard to tell where they actually end up here. And yeah, there has been a weird little bug there for a moment. Keep an eye on the guy in front of me. It's gonna have one frame where it comes very close to me there. That really gave me a bit of a shock when I was in the race, but thankfully that didn't happen again. But yeah, now down into 3rd place. Psychic Eagle back up in front still. Domo in 2nd. And I'm basically pretty sure at this point that I can catch them on the dirt road if nothing else happens. There's a big semi-truck coming up, and yeah, Domo is going on the inside. I thought that maybe I could overtake him quite just in the same turn, and I got to their side, but they defend quite hard, and I had to back out again. I would say that usually it's a better idea to maybe let that kind of stuff go, because I mean you see just how I can get back at them real quick. So I think letting me pass at that point would have been a better idea. And yeah, this is where it starts going wrong. I thought I at least kept control, but no, I completely spun out and it just didn't go well. I lost like 2 places at this point. Another person coming up behind me because of course I'm now very slow. And once again having those weird slowdowns in the middle of a turn doesn't help things either. But at this point it was kind of my fault. I hoped I could clear that vehicle, but it came out of nowhere. So that's still kind of fair enough. Even though I wish we could turn off the traffic for events like this. I wouldn't want to drive without traffic all the time, but in stuff like this I would prefer without it. Also to avoid this kind of thing. I basically did a Mercedes here. Well, sadly. So what happened there, and let's go back to that for one moment. I was driving behind that guy, another one came up to the left there. I tried to get to the inside of that Porsche and yeah, somebody got on my inside, I got squished, and that's what ended up happening here. Including, of course, a decent amount of damage to both the engine and the radiator. So that's really not all that fun anymore. But we are still in the race, so let's see if we can make the best out of it. So I get bumped from behind, I bump into somebody in front, and since I'm back being pinside in the middle, the game just decides to flip me again. Honestly, at that point, if I would have respawned on the lower part of the track there, I would have taken that. Because at this point I'm kinda done with the entire thing and I know that this race is over for me. Apparently Tess in front of me also had some issues, and well, if you say screw it anyways, you might as well take the wall ride. And to be clear, if I wasn't really aiming at overtaking at that point. Also, weird spin out here. Not an intended shortcut, but in the end, for me at least, the important thing is whether you really get any benefit out of those maneuvers. So if I overtook the other guy with a wall ride, that would have been not okay in my book. If I got advantage from shortcutting there as well. But sometimes you just need a bit of extra tech to make up for your mistakes. And yeah, my engine being damaged this much and the radiator just overheating ever so slowly, there's no chance of me catching back up again. This vehicle is pretty much a wreck at this point. So carrying it around that pretty much final turn, I mean the rest here is just very wide highway, not really much to consider here in terms of turns. And to make things worse, I'm now also overheating, so I'm just crawling up the mountain. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of that race. I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but I made a bug report about that weird jumping interaction there, getting launched up. Gotta see what comes from that. Another thing that I would really wish for this game to implement, and I hope they do soon. And to be clear, since we just saw that, I didn't notice that guy being there until I hit him, pretty much. So I didn't aim for that car, I was just trying to get into the ditch. Because that's where my car belonged at that point. Yeah, I really wish we had the option to make custom checkpoints, like we can find them at some of the official tracks already, like especially at the dog race. Let's put them together somewhere, connect them together. I'm gonna quickly pause that here. And that would be really nice to make custom races, set a lap amount and just go for it. Have some set up like track limits through the checkpoints and all of that. Just to allow the people who are hosting the races to participate in them. Because just having to sit on the sideline and watching is it's not really fair to those who put the time in. This time around for the third race, Chess, however, got somebody else to jump in for hosting, so Tress is gonna be doing that thing. Chess is participating in the race, and yeah, I think that's a nice thing so that you can also have a bit of the action. Again, this is the track that I've been looking forward to the most, because this is the one that I had the most fun on testing. Let's see how it goes. Gonna be starting any moment. And that's the honking. And yeah, I learned from my mistakes and the other people, so I set up in a way that I could avoid that. Sadly, there are some things that I could not avoid. For example, that car that couldn't avoid the police car, and this is where the race basically ends. I'm on my side, meaning that just to appreciate what's going on here. I got a wanted level for speeding and likely also the collision I was involved in. So while I'm on my side here, I cannot reset the vehicle while I have a wanted level. So I need to get the fine in order to clear the wanted level, and then I can get the car back onto its wheels unless I was able to push it back over. So I immediately got out of my car, even ran onto the hood of that stupid police car, and the fucker is running away from me. Like, I'm just trying to get fined here. Could you please stop for a moment and just let me continue the race? At this point I was absolutely furious. Also being called Shakira in chat didn't help it. So yeah, I start just calling that police car a bitch. And I'm typing way too slow at this point. Need to reset car, and at this point, yeah, I just go for the parking lot, which I should have maybe gone for earlier, but that's a really split second decision, and I didn't want to have to go back through my vehicle selection to pick up that Vista again. Thankfully, I had it set to reverse alphabetical order, so that's making that part at least a little bit quicker. That way it's not somewhere in the middle. Oh yeah, and there's that police guy again, just to rub some more salt into the wound. So this is a prime example on why I would like to have the option for these kind of races happening without police and without traffic. Overall, I still enjoy event racing. I think it's amazing and it's just so much fun coming up with a theme, setting up the tracks, finding vehicles and all of that. And just having everybody have a good time with that. But in Motortown right now, the potential is kind of tainted by how much frustration comes with it. From randomly running into traffic, from having weird bugs like getting launched into the air without much of a way to avoid that, and just the police intervention. So there are definitely things that the game needs to work on. And I think this is also a good point, since in this race really not too much is going to happen anymore. Apart from us now being also warned about that police car making another round and that kind of thing, basically going around the others, the same track the other way. So I of course still want to participate in other events. But I'll be honest, after what happened here with 2 out of 3 races, and there was even the bonus race after the event was actually concluded, we did the first race again just for funsies. I ran into somebody else who completely just ran into the end of crash barrier, so yeah, my race was basically over in the first lap before we even hit the dirt road. I'm gonna have to manage my expectations for how these races can be right now, and that's really down to just how the game works in its current form. It has a lot of potential, but it really needs to do a few more things to make that go through. Other people are already having the first lap finish while I'm still getting back towards Geppa here. So yeah, in the end I'm gonna have to see about all of that. I'm definitely down for more events. Right now that's honestly the best part of the game for me. And that's another topic that I would like to touch on. I don't think I'm gonna be making that many more videos of the game soon, I think it's time to take another break from it. And to be clear, I don't want to avoid it. I think I just really phrased it poorly. I just want to take a bit of a break until maybe we get another event going, until we get another update, or yeah, till I feel like playing more of it. Maybe I'll do a bit here and there, or just possibly also attempting that whole challenge playthrough that I mentioned. Wouldn't be going anywhere near as long as this one. It would just be more for just seeing if I can maybe get a bit more enjoyment out of playing it in a different way. It's kind of in something that feels like it would be worse, but sometimes you a certain level of hardship, like without any teleportation and just spawning cars in all the time, it could just make a few things feel a lot better. So that's something that I would be down to try at some point, but I think at this point, maybe a week or two without the game would be beneficial. I ended up playing this quite a lot after I came back from my family, and honestly I've likely been overplaying a bit, and I don't want to burn out, so I think just taking a short break is likely gonna be a healthier choice here. There's still another video that I kinda want to make. I recently got into a bit of testing for some bugs and potential causes for that. Has to do with the weird handling from the Jemusi variants, and some of those clips that I submitted to show off that bug are absolutely hilarious. So I'm gonna see how I can maybe put that into an episode and just have a look at that, because that's pretty funny. And in the end, there's already something on the way to at least help with that kind of situation, which will hopefully also make other things a bit better. Yeah, I tried to avoid that guy, but no chance. Was a lack of visibility, but I couldn't turn in anymore if I wanted to. And trust me, I did want to if I could. So yeah, the Jemusi clips are still coming up. Might be a shorter video. That's just gonna depend. I don't know if it would be a good idea to tie that in with anything else, but after that, with how things are right now, maybe I leave it. Maybe I'll just do a few more things to build up some more money. I would like to try out a few more vehicles for this kind of event. I think this is something that in the future will do another rerun, maybe in a slightly different format. So just having one continuous rally stage or 2 rally stages or something like that instead of RallyCross tracks. I think that would also be fun. Would need to find a way to keep the vehicles fueled, because they are definitely gonna run out otherwise. But this has been a very enjoyable format. Not just for me, but also for the other people involved, hopefully. I mean, once again, there's that whole bonus race that we did, and yeah, people wouldn't have suggested that without it being fun for them. But yeah, we are finally in the final lap here. I actually remember that coming up that hill there, I was considering to stay on the left, because that's gonna make running into the gate to the right much more unlikely. But I knew that there was a chance that there would be a vehicle right there. So that's just an example on how you need to really compromise your racing lines, just to make sure that you avoid even the potential of any traffic vehicle getting in your way. Not always possible, as I've shown with Crash in the last lap, but, well, gonna try at least. But yeah, when I talk about the whole stuff like rally stages and all of that, it wouldn't be the one that I avoided going on, because I think that's just too rough for these vehicles. And I'm really considering if it's really even worth having those big rocks on the roads at all. Some vehicles are gonna go over them without any problems, like the heavier ones, like really trucks and all of that. I don't mean pickup trucks, but more like the dumper truck and all of that. I mean the dump truck and cement mixer, that kind of thing. They can handle those without a problem. A lot of other vehicles are just going to be frustrating to handle over those roads, and for these, I don't know if it really does that much positive for the game. But we'll have to see where they go with that. And yeah, at this point I give so little damn about the rules that I just shortcut that part. Cars on the inside of that turn, so I might as well cut further inside. And the other people had issues with almost running out of gas. I think especially in the last race I didn't come close to running out of it because my engine was so broken down after the first lap crash that in the end it just didn't go fast enough to have many issues. But we are almost done here. And yeah, when it comes to event organization, of course there was another police car involved in the end because that's the theme of this entire race here. And let me give you guys the live translation of what I just honked at them, at least the last part. Don't know what the first was, but the last one. That was definitely asshole. Pretty much with certainty. But yeah, we are limping back up the road to the start-finish stretch, and that's gonna be for this one. And yeah, the next one, I would like to put it back on regular roads fully, so just on-road event. Off-road in this game is amazing, but I don't just want to do it all the time. Problem is right now we've already been having a bit of a discussion about putting it back onto like the few race tracks in this game. They're nice, but there's not a lot of them, and also the few that there are available and that would really work for a proper racing event. I think there's like maybe 2 that we could use, plus the little oval. Not a lot. Maybe we could use the Harbor Raceway as well, but I don't know. It's a bit tighter points, so we would have to see. But that's something to be figured out in the near future. I'll definitely be down for more, but we're gonna see what really comes up. But until then, let me know what you thought about all the stuff going on in this video. And until next time, once again, there's likely gonna be at least one more video because I want to get off the music clips. But besides that, thanks for watching, have a good one, see you next time, and bye bye.